Welcome to our second season of Invertebrate Insanity. Last year, we had some amazing battles between 36 of the world's best known and often feared invertebrates. Where does that leave us for this year? Are there no more invertebrates to choose from for this year's battles? With nearly 97% of the world's animals without a backbone, there's no shortage of invertebrates to choose from. Over 1.25 million species. Not to be so exact. This year's tournament's sure to be amazing with organisms such as the ancient horseshoe crab, the minuscule water bear, and the wandering hobo spider. Remember, it's not the strongest that survive, it's those that are best fit for their environment. Of course, there's some chance that goes with each battle, but isn't that life? Just like last year, there'll be two separate brackets, one for those landlubber invertebrates, and one for the invertebrates with a more briny existence. We've had to make some changes to the divisions for this year, adding the phylum Annelida and Tardigrada to the mix. Last year's winner, the vampire squid from hell, put up one heck of a fight and ended up with 4 points after the final battle. This year, we have 39 new competitors, ready to give it all they got in the arena. With 14 additional cards for this year's battles, there are sure to be some significant upsets and nail-biting battles. The rules still are the same overall, with invertebrates going through single elimination battles, starting with our wild cards. Each battle is based upon the organism's unique traits that make it adapted to its environment, but the environment, time of day, and circumstances the organism faces are completely random. Whichever of the two organisms comes out of the battle with the most points is the winner, unless one of them succumbs to the arena and loses 3 points, that is. This year, we will have most, if not all, of our results posted in recap videos produced by our 7th grade students. A big shout out to them for their energy and enthusiasm. Take a moment to visit our webpage for this year's brackets and to get the lowdown on all this year's combatants. Also, our fantastic students created a promotional video clip for each of their invertebrates. Before you choose your winners on your Invertebrate Insanity bracket, take a moment to see what each invertebrate is really made of.
Hello, I'm Ethan DeVere.
And I am Logan Dennett. The polynautiloid, or Nautilus balueus, can be found in Indonesian seas and oceans on the coral reefs. The nautiloid is a smaller creature but very muscular, with a 10-inch shell and up to 5-inch tentacles.
The polynautiloid has many features, such as a shell, to help it survive in its environment. It uses jet propulsion to get around. It can also pump fluids in and out of its shell to provide buoyancy. Nautiluses are sexual dimorphic. That means males have several tentacles to make into an organ called the spandex.
The polynautiloid live in Indonesian coral reefs, and they hunt and eat shrimp, crabs, fish, and occasionally other of its own species. Their food is captured by its retractable tentacles and goes into its mouth, where a beak-like jaw tears it to pieces.
The nautiloid only has two predators, which are their cousins, squid and octopus. Unlike other types of cephalopods, Nautilus don't have suckers on their tentacles like an octopus does. Instead, its tentacles have grooves and ridges that allow it to grip objects. They are slow swimmers, but they use jet propulsion to escape from predators.
Nautiloids have been a major part of the ocean for 500 million years. Also, after a nautiloid dies, another animal can use its shell as protection. In fact, most of the largest hermit crabs use dead nautiloid shells to use it as shelter.
Expect to see the polynautiloid battle during the wild card round of the Invertebrates of the Sea Division, Mollusca. In fact, the nautiloid is the oldest cephalopod, so we are Papa Cephalopod.
I'm Cole Harris, and this is Riley Wong. The lion's mane jellyfish, or Cayena capillata, can be found in the cold waters of the Arctic, Atlantic, and Pacific Oceans. The lion's mane jellyfish is 0.5 inches to 8 feet, and they have red, yellow, and dark purple tentacles depending on size.
The lion's mane jellyfish glides vertically to move throughout the water. It has very good symbiotic relations with other organisms in the sea. The lion's mane jellyfish reproduces sexually by combining male-female gametes, which then make a baby. They also reproduce asexually during the stages of their life, which simply reproduce by making copies of themselves, which then grow into adults.
The jellyfish are made up of 90% water, which helps them float easily. To protect themselves from predators, they have these string tentacles that help them to keep the jellyfish warm, used for defense and to catch prey. They can sense lightness and darkness, such as a crab on the ocean floor.
The lion's-mane jellyfish is a very good way of keeping away from predators. Their stinging tentacles are strong and enduring. Their transparent bodies help them hide. A few animals such as long-headed turtles, sunfish, and spadfish eat jellyfish. They hide in their tentacles to avoid being eaten by predators until they mature.
Jellyfish play an important role in the oceanic food chain and ecosystem. Jellyfish are carnivorous, eating large crustaceans and other marine organisms. It provides both a reliable source of food and protection from predators. Some fish stay near the bill of the jellyfish to avoid being stung by the tentacles.
Expect to see the cyanide capillata battle during the wildcard battles of the invertebrates of the sea division, Nidaria.
Hello, I am Shay.
And this is Ben. The water bear, or the tardigrade, can be found in a diverse range of environments. The water bear is very small, 0.059 inches. It's the biggest they will get. Water bears have 8 legs and about 4 claws on each leg. They have very plump bodies and scrunched heads. The water bears aren't known for doing many things, but some species are known to perform mating rituals and reproduction. They are not known for migrating. Water bears move by walking or swimming on their legs. They reproduce sexually and asexually. During sexual reproduction, the female will lay the eggs and the male will fertilize them. If they reproduce asexually, they can lay 30 eggs at a time.
They feed on the fluids of plant cells, animal cells, and bacteria. They are the prey to amoebas, nematodes, and other tardigrades. Water bears suck out juices from moss, algae, and lichen to feed. Water bears are not big in hunting, so they wait for the prey to come to them. These water bears unfortunately accept the fact they are being hunted, and then they will soon die. Water bears can survive freezing, radiation, and low oxygen conditions without forming a ton. Scientists found several unique evolutionary tricks that allow tardigrades to survive conditions of extreme drought and high levels of radiation. Although these creatures do not do a whole lot in their ecosystem, they will be a great thing to study because they can survive on Mars. Maybe they'll help us get there.
Expect to see the water bear during the wildcard battle against the bobbit worm in the Invertebrate Sea Division. It'll be a good fight. Get ready for the unstoppable water bear to roll through this Invertebrate Insanity tournament.
I am Mr. Lestratus, and this is Dominic Moody. The bobbit worm, or E. aphrodite, can be found commonly in the warm waters of the Indo-Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, including off the eastern and southern coasts of Australia. The bobbit worm keeps to its burrow in the seafloor at depths of between 10 meters and 40 meters. The unusual bobbit worm represents an extremely large species of aquatic worm. Individuals typically have an average length of approximately 9 inches, 1 meter. But sometimes they will grow to lengths of as much as 10 feet, 3 meters. The species usually displays shades of bright purple. It displays a total of 5 long antennae. This feature lets it detect prey while it stays hidden. The bobbit worm also has a very hard exoskeleton, covering the vast majority of its body. Nevertheless, its most recognizable physical feature continues to be its powerful mandibles that it uses to catch prey. The animal acts very aggressively towards its prey, but if it senses a predator, it will hide until it's gone. The reproductive strategies of this invertebrate are unknown to this day. Using their antennae, the bobbit worm senses the passing predator or prey. The bobbit worm is an omnivore. They are mostly nocturnal and do the majority of the hunting at night. During the day, they retreat to their burrow, but if hungry enough, they will hunt during the daytime. It burrows itself into the ground and has these little antennae that stick out of the ground, making it look like a plant. So when something comes to eat it, it launches itself at the prey, flying and taking it underground. Also, the antennae detect if that animal is predator or prey. At night, it readies itself to catch prey, waiting for a fish to swim too close, so it will be snapped up by the bobbit worm's jaws and dragged into the burrow. The tunneling and burrowing of the bobbit worm irrigate and oxygenate the coral reefs, encouraging beneficial plant and algae growth. In ocean reefs, the bobbit worm's primary ecological contribution is eating aquatic animals further down the food chain. Expect to see the bobbit worm battle during an invertebrate of the sea wildcard of the division Mollusca in Nodaria.
Hello, I'm Bryn Dillon, and this is Samantha Langren. The Strongylocentropus purpuratus, more commonly known as the purple sea urchin, is found in shallow areas of water, usually along a coast with strong waves. It is mainly found along the coastline of Alaska, down the Pacific coast to Mexico. The purple sea urchin has many purple spines that have suction cups at the ends of them. It has a protective shell. It also has no brain and only has 5 sharp teeth that it uses to eat kelp and algae.
The purple sea urchin reproduces sexually. The reproduction age is 2 years. Males release their gametes into the ocean and fertilize female eggs at random. These eggs mature into sea urchins.
Purple sea urchin eats kelp and algae, which is why it is normally seen near kelp forests. It uses its tube feet and its long spines to aid in getting the kelp to its mouth. It also uses its 5 sharp teeth to scrape algae off the rock to eat. It will eat algae, but it prefers giant kelp.
It is both a social and independent organism. It does not tend to live in colonies or around other urchins, nor does it always live by itself. The purple sea urchin is nocturnal and usually grazes at night. It is hunted by the sea star and the sea otter. It protects itself with poisonous spines and a shell. The purple sea urchin helps keep the kelp forest from overpopulating. It has 2 feet that help it latch on to the kelp that it eats. Sea urchin is also used in food like sushi.
Expect to see the purple sea urchin battle during the wild card battles of the invertebrates of the sea division Echinodermata and Crustacea.
Hi, I am Andrew Tebow.
And I am Caleb Poole, and our invertebrates is sunflower star. They can be found in bodies found near Alaska, San Diego, and California in the low subtidal and intertidal areas rich in seaweed or kelp. The sunflower star has many arms ranging from 16 to 24. The arms can be up to 40 centimeters and usually 80 centimeters in diameter. Sunflower stars have 15,000 tube feet, which allows them to cling to rocks with their suction cups. They can also be reddish, orange, yellow, violet, brown, purplish, or slaty purple.
The sunflower star has the ability to regenerate its arms, which may detach as a means of defense when handled excessively or attacked by a predator. They move fast to avoid predators because they prefer to be left alone. Sea stars can reproduce sexually and asexually. In sexual reproduction, fertilization occurs in the water, with males and females releasing sperm and eggs into the environment. The fertilized embryos, which are free-swimming animals, become part of the zooplankton in most.
Sunflower stars eat clams, snails, abalone, sea cucumbers, and other sea stars. In Monterey Bay, California, they will feed on dead or dying squid. Although the sunflower sea star can really extend its mouth for larger prey, the stomach can extend outside the mouth to digest prey such as gastropods like abalone.
The sunflower starfish is almost at the top of the food chain, but they are only preyed upon the king crab. If the king crab grabs a hold of their arm, they just detach.
Sunflower stars are voracious. They do not venture into high and mid-tide areas because their body structure is fleshy and requires water to support it. Most sea star species have a mesh-like skeleton to protect their internal organs. They are also easily preyed by predators such as large fish and other sea. To see the sunflower sea star battle during the wildcard battles with invertebrates of the sea division in the phylum Echinodermata.
I'm Jack Sanamore, and this is Ben Dibb. The tardigrade, or Hypsibius duardini, can be found in sediments near algae and bodies of fresh water. The tardigrade is a highly translucent microscopic organism ranging from 1.25 to 0.25 millimeters long. It has 8 legs, 2 of which are reversed to grab onto its food. Its most informal name is the water bear, as it has the appearance of a tiny bear.
Hypsibius duardini uses sexual reproduction. However, sexual reproduction is not always necessary, as this species can reproduce through meiotic parthenogenesis. The Hypsibius duardini is different from other organisms, as they don't develop certain parts of their body throughout their life, only growing by making each cell larger. They often molt their past skin, doing so 4 to 12 times throughout their life, much like a snake. An important aspect of the Hypsibius is that it can go into cryptobiosis, a stress response technique where the tardigrade halts development and metabolism and covers itself in a thick coating.
The Hypsibius is an omnivore but lives near algae, around and under sediment to use as its main food source because it requires the least energy. It uses its reverse legs to attach itself to the algae and uses a tiny tube-like mouth to suck the fluid off the plant. Other foods are other plant fluids, rotifers, and even other tardigrades when it has the chance.
The Hypsibius duardini has very few confirmed predators, such as mites and certain insect larvae. The tardigrade does have several adaptations allowing them to avoid them, though. First, the Hypsibius is so transparent that it is nearly invisible, making it hard for predators to sense them, as well as making them nearly invisible to the naked eye. They are fast swimmers and can hide or latch onto just about anything. The tardigrade is the host for a parasitic fungus called Balacephalopedicellata and feeds on algae. It is, however, the subject of many experiments testing the extreme survivability of the Hypsibius, mainly such feats as surviving intense radiation, boiling temperatures, lack of food, pressures 8 times deeper than the Mariana Trench, temperatures hundreds of degrees below freezing, suffocation, and even surviving the vacuum of space. Expect to see the tardigrade battle during the wildcard battles of the invertebrates of the sea, division Echinodermata, subphylum Crustacea, and phylum Tardigrade.
Hello. I'm Courtney Walters, and this is Aaron Gallant for the peacock mantis shrimp, or the Onchodonchus scalaris. Can be found in Indonesian waters and shallow tropical waters. The peacock mantis shrimp is very colorful, has big eyes, and a hard shell body.
The peacock mantis shrimp is very aggressive. It is not afraid to go at a crab and punch through its shell. It also creates a U-shaped tunnel to hide in. To reproduce, the female shrimp makes 2 sets of eggs, one for the mother and one for the father.
The peacock mantis shrimp can typically eat prey that is bigger than it is, such as crabs, gastropods, and mollusks. It can go very fast, 23 meters per second, to get to prey such as a crab when it hides in its shell. Also, it has one of the most significant eyes in that eyes can detect any color unlike any other creature on Earth. Predators of the peacock mantis shrimp are the bluefin tuna and the barraca. Some adaptations of the shrimp is that they have long bodies and their second pair of legs are typically adapted to hunt and prey many of the species of the peacock mantis shrimp. They live in shallow, warm Indo-Pacific waters / Indonesian waters. They can also be found in eastern Africa and Hawaii. Some of the other adaptations of the shrimp is that they have the most complex eyes in the animal kingdom. They use it to avoid predators. Expect to see the peacock mantis shrimp during one of the wildcard battles of the Invertebrate of the Sea division, Crustacea and Acromedia.
I am Nathan Haber and my partner is Riley McKeon. The flesh fly or Sarcophaga crespalpus mccourt can be found in a tropical and subtropical climate in the outdoors. Flesh flies are scavengers. Their preferred breeding areas are decayed flesh, spoiling meat, and manure. Flesh flies can breed in dead rodents and birds, inside attics or wall voids of houses. As many as 325 larvae have been known to be born by a single female. Flesh fly maggots feed for 3 to 4 days and develop through 3 instars. Soon afterward, these mature maggots enter the pupal stage. Adult flies emerge in 10 to 14 days, and the life cycle is repeated. Adult flies do not bite, but feed on a wide range of liquid substances. Most larvae infest wounds, carrion, or excrement. The larvae of some species of flesh flies are beneficial in that they prey on eggs, nymphs, or larvae of more harmful insects. An amazing adaptation allows these latecomers a competitive spot at the table. Flesh flies breed on human or animal feces, decaying vegetables or meat, carrion, or animal flesh. Most larvae infest wounds, carrion, or manure. Little is known about the efficiency of fly predators on the species. They are generally only an occasional pest to cows and horses. The larvae of some species of flesh flies are beneficial in that they prey on immature stages of more harmful insects. A sharp bite makes it easier to place eggs in a body and a spiky back to hurt predators. The Sarcophaga crespalpus mccourt is particularly important to forensic entomology as it can be the first or one of the first arthropods to arrive at a corpse. They generally have highly contrasting black and gray stripes on the thorax as well as a checkered pattern on the abdomen.
Expect to see the flesh fly battle during the wildcard battles of the invertebrates of the land division. Hexapoda and Myriapoda bring us to the end because we will win.
I'm James and this is Eamon. The giant weta bug or Dienkera bug can be found in caves, forests, or pay trees in New Zealand. The giant weta has a rock-hard exoskeleton with pointy spikes on its legs. They are cricket-like bugs that can vary from dark brown to yellow.
The giant weta bug is very mobile. Males run when being attacked. Females fight instead. The giant weta is a sexual reproducer. The male fertilizes the female eggs. The female then lays its eggs into the soil, and after 10 months, the weta is born. It lives its life by itself and sheds its exoskeleton during its whole life.
The giant weta bug loves eating carrots. It prefers them more than any other plant or insect. The giant weta also eats insects such as caterpillars, spiders, and crickets. The giant weta bug also eats plants such as shrubs.
The giant weta is a predator to small insects such as caterpillars, spiders, cicadas, and crickets. The giant weta is nocturnal, so it comes out at night to eat. So the way they don't get killed by a predator at night is by hiding in a hole until the coast is clear to get food.
Other ecosystems that giant weta has is when it eats fruits or seeds, it relocates the seeds so that the seed has a new place to grow. Other adaptations that the weta has is it has these springy hind legs that can jump from 3 meters in length.
Expect to see the giant weta battle during the wildcard battles of the invertebrate of the land, the division of the hexapoda. Let's go, weta!
Hello, I'm Madison Cachadorian. The daring jumping spider, the Fidivus audax, can be found throughout North America. The Fidivus audax is active in grasslands, prairies, open woodlands, gardens, and backyards. The daring jumping spider is hairy with a cephalothorax and abdomen that is black with little white hairs and a large triangular white spot with 2 smaller spots. The mouth parts are often metallic blue-green, Males sport bushy eyebrows over their two forward-facing eyes, though they have 8 eyes total wrapping around their head. Daring jumping spiders are carnivorous and eat a variety of insects such as boll weevils, tarnished plant bugs, tobacco budworms, adult and larvae of the bollworms. Although the spiders have really good eyesight at night, they spend their day hunting, jumping upon an insect, and biting it, releasing their venom. A cool fact is that the male and female hunt differently. The female goes for larger prey, eat more often, and processes the prey to make sure every last bit counts. The males, on the other hand, go for smaller prey and spend less time hunting and eating. Even though the little spider is fierce, other animals need to eat too. The only known predators are lizards, birds, and dragonflies. If the spider sees a predator too big to eat, they're out of there in seconds. They will hide in a small crevice or a small cavity to make a retreat for night. The daring jumping spider has such a big impact on insect populations. They help keep the population in line and help farmers with their cotton farms to keep their plants alive and active.
Let's get ready to
I'm Melissa Howe, and this is Sophia Molinari. Our invertebrate is the southern tree-dwelling funnel web spider, or Hydronichi serbia. This spider can be found in eastern Australia in sheltered burrows in the ground or in trees. The southern tree-dwelling funnel web spider has a matte black or brown chelicera and legs. They have a glossy back carapace and a light maroon-brown abdomen. These spiders are not fans of the light or warm weather. They will actually flee from it. They are also some of the most deadly groups of spiders in the world because of their toxic and deadly venom. When the spiders reproduce, the males go in search for a female. When they find a female, they press bodies together to reproduce. The females lay eggs in the burrows. Once hatched, the young spiders stay inside the burrows until they are big enough to leave. Then the male dies and the female lives on for a couple of years. Did you know that they eat insects and small vertebrates like lizards or frogs? To protect from predators, they bite them with their deadly venom. The southern tree-dwelling funnel web spiders' webs are shaped like funnels to trap their prey. In their ecosystem, they are the most important predator of insects. Fun fact, these spiders can swim for short periods of time. Expect to see the southern tree-dwelling funnel web spider at battle during the wild card of the invertebrates of the land in Arachnida and phylum Tardigrada.
Hello, I'm Ms. McRohawk and this is Point of Pana. The Chilean rose-haired tarantula lives in Chile, Argentina, and Bolivia in dry grassland and scrub desert areas. The scientific name for this tarantula is the Gummostola rosea. They have dark brownish and grayish hairs. Depending on where they live, some have red, orange, or tan hairs. Their individual hairs can be sensitive to heat, motion, and The Chilean rose-haired tarantulas can be very aggressive towards each other. Sometimes if a female is left alone with a male for too long, she will actually eat him. They can flick their hairs off, causing an irritating reaction to an attacker. They're nocturnal, so they hunt at night. Chilean rose-haired tarantulas mate during the fall seasons of September and October. Reproduction starts off when the males form their mating hooks, which are called tibial spurs. This contains the storage of the sperm. A male soon leaves the safety of the burrow to go wander around to find a woman in her burrow. The female leaves chemical signals called pheromones that attract the male. She soon will turn to face the male and open her fangs. The male uses his first set of legs to grasp her fangs and push her upwards, allowing him to release the sperm. The female will lay up to 50 to 200 eggs. Chilean rose-haired tarantulas catch prey by injecting venom and enzymes that begin breaking it down into ingestible fluids. Instead of spinning a web, they will actually chase down and catch their prey. They eat such things like crickets, moss, beetles, mealworms, and small lizards or mammals. They are prey to animals such as large mammals, reptiles, other tarantulas, and hunting wasps. The Chilean rose-haired tarantulas are considered to be an invaluable aid in destroying harmful crop-eating insects. Expect to see the Chilean rose-haired tarantula battle during the double round of the wildcards of the invertebrates of the land in the division of Arachidna phylum Tardigrada. The Chilean rose-haired tarantula will not let you down, even though it might be small. It has an enormous amount of venomous and vicious power. Good luck.
Hello everyone, my name is Jacob Curley, and here with me is Jack Bagme, and our invertebrate is called the Arabian fat-tailed scorpion. Scientific name is called Androctonus crassicauda, and our scorpion is from the Arachidna class. The scorpion lives in North Africa, and its habits inhabit arid, semi-arid, desert, tropical, subtropical, and temperate regions with sandy soils. It is 8 to 10 centimeters long and has a tough exoskeleton, and is the third most dangerous scorpion in the world. This is how the scorpion reproduces. When a male and female scorpion mate, they perform a dance, locking claws. At one point, the male deposits a sac containing sperm. He puts the sperm on a stick or rock, then guides the female over so she can take it in. Scorpions are nocturnal and hide during the day. Some scorpion species will hide under rocks and logs. Other species will dig and hide in burrows. After the first molt, which occurs about 2 weeks after birth, the babies climb down and scatter during their life cycle. Scorpions typically molt 5 or 6 times until they reach maturity. While scorpions develop slowly, they have long lives compared to other insects. A scorpion avoids predators by stinging them with a toxic venom, but their stinger uses a lot of energy, so they can only use it when they have to. The sting can defend them from animals as big as coyotes. Expect to see the Arabian fat-tailed scorpion during one of the wildcard battles of the invertebrates of the land in subphylum, Hexapoda, and Myriapoda division. Thank you, everyone, for joining us and learning about our scorpion.
I'm Emma Day and this is Human Gomes. The giant squid or arthrodox can be found in oceans from all around the world, but Arctic and extremely tropical waters, and they are usually found in the depths at 1,000 feet. The giant squid, like other squids and octopuses, has 2 large eyes, a beak, 8 arms, 2 feet and tentacles, and a funnel, but of course all of it is much larger.
Although giant squids look like monsters which aggressively hunt and kill their prey, they're actually ambush predators who'd rather wait for the prey to appear on its own. Female squid release her eggs bonded together with jelly that she keeps on her arms when a male is available for reproduction. Unlike mammals and many fish species, cephalopods grow very quickly and die after a short life. Evidence suggests that giant squid live no more than 5 years, which means each squid must grow incredibly quickly to reach 30 feet in just a few years.
They will attack schools of fish from below, quickly ascending to shallower waters to grab a meal before retreating to safer depths away from predators. Once prey is caught by the suckers and teeth on the feeding tentacles, the squid will bring it towards its beak with its 8 arms. The beak breaks down the food into smaller pieces, and the radula, a tongue-like organ covered in teeth, grinds it down further. Giant squid will even steal a captured meal of another squid, presumably in order to reduce the risk of an attack by a sperm whale in shallower depths.
Predators of adult giant squids are sperm whales and sometimes even pilot whales. Juveniles are preyed on by sharks and other fish. They can protect themselves with their suckers and ink. Ink can know the opponent's taste and smell as well as be a visual distraction or barrier.
Squid contribute to the ecosystem by providing food for other creatures. Humans are probably the squid's greatest natural enemy, but sharks, seals, whales, dolphins, seabirds, deep sea fish, and other squid also eat these tumbler or multi-armed celiopods. Squid help maintain the ecosystem by eating enormous quantities of food. Their specific diet differs depending on what region they live in, but the majority of their diet is krill, fish, crustaceans, like shrimp, other squid, and sometimes even whales.
Expect to see the giant squid battle during round 1 of the invertebrates of the sea division, Mollusca and Syndra. Cheer for the Squid Squad!
Hi, I'm Anthony Morris.
And I'm Tyler Provost. The invertebrate we chose was the colossal squid.
The word on the screen, or more commonly known as the colossal squid, can be found up to 7,200 feet deep in the Antarctic Ocean. The colossal squid is 39 to 46 feet in length. It has 8 arms, 2 tentacles, and the tentacles are armed with very sharp claws ready to strike down anything, though. While the arms have suction cups on them, the eyes can be up to 27 centimeters across. The females are particularly larger than the
There
males.
isn't much at all known about this type of squid. Therefore, it is hard to guess what their actual behaviors are. It is believed that there are no loners in the water and they eat large volumes of food daily. It is also believed that they often fight sperm whales when they're going to get eaten by them.
Not much is known about the reproduction of the colossal squid because there are mostly females found in the ocean. Males are very rarely seen in the ocean in catching. There isn't much known about the colossal squid, so us humans don't really know much about the squid's development.
There isn't much known about this type of squid. Therefore, it is hard to guess what their actual behaviors are. It is believed that they are loners in the water and they eat large volumes of food daily. It is also believed that they often fight sperm whales when they're going to get
The
eaten by
predators
them.
of the colossal squid are sperm whales, bottlenose whales, pilot whales, southern elephant seals, Patagonian toothfish, Pacific sleeper sharks, and albatross. The colossal squid can't really escape its predators due to its slowness, so it just attacks back to defend itself.
The only ecosystem role of the colossal squid is that it's prey to many other marine life. The greatest enemy of the colossal squid, any animal on Earth to be honest, is humans.
But the colossal squid has another role in its ecosystem, and that is being a predator to other marine life as well. Besides that, there are not really any positive and or negative economic differences for the colossal squid.
Expect to see the colossal squid during the round 1 battles of the invertebrates of the sea.
It's in the division phylum Mollusca, Sonarda, phylum Pterygrata, and phylum Annelida folks.
Hello, I'm Delaney Elizabeth Moore, and today I will be talking about the deadly species of a cone snail, the marbled cone, also called Conus marmilis. This odd snail lives in the Pacific Ocean, Caribbean Ocean, Red Sea, and on the coast of Florida. The Conus mammalis lives in coral fields, blending in with its surroundings, and can be ranging from 2 centimeters to 20 centimeters. It has black, yellow, or pink diamonds along its shell, and on the inside is long tubes called the proboscis, siphon, rostrum, and 2 eyes. One snail's behavior is actually quite peaceful for an invertebrate that kills at least 400 people a year. It needs food to survive, so it's mostly looking for fish, sea slugs, worms, and even other cone snails. The marbled cone uses sexual reproduction as a strategy for making more of its species. The eggs incubate in a small sac for about 15 to 20 days before maturing into the larval stage. Its see-through body and shell slowly harden as they drift with the ocean waves. After the shell hardens, it grows bigger as it becomes an adult. When the snail is hungry, it slowly moves to a sleeping or injured fish, slug, or worm and suddenly stabs it with its sharp harpoon inside the proboscis, venom pushing the harpoon into the fish, leading venom into the veins. The venom paralyzes and suffocates its prey, then it begins to eat its prey. Sometimes others will find the snail and try to eat it, but most aren't prepared. When attacked, the cone snail curls into its shell and then taps the predator with its proboscis. Once it is paralyzed, sometimes the snail will eat its own predator. It is also highly toxic. There is no way to eat it unless you're another cone snail. The marbled cone has evolved a way so it is immune to its own venom, so it won't get poisoned. In conclusion, the snail is important to society and population, but must be left alone so it can continue this balanced life as a marbled cone snail.
I'm Hallie Remillard, and this is Annabelle Jocelyn, and this is the blue glaucous sea slug. They can be found in the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Ocean, usually in tropical or temperate waters. They are found off the east coast of Australia, Europe, Mozambique, India, and Peru, and will travel wherever the current will take them. The blue glaucous is a very small invertebrate. It can be up to 3 centimeters in length, but can easily catch their prey. They have blue on their stomach and gray on their back, which helps them blend in with the ocean.
The blue glaucous sea slug is a hermaphrodite. A hermaphrodite is an animal who has male and female reproductive parts, and when they mate with someone, they both produce eggs. Each individual cannot fertilize its own eggs. However, they still must mate. After mating, the two partners will separate and lay their eggs. The sea slugs will lay the eggs on wood, plastic, or anything that floats on the surface.
Their prey consists of Portuguese man-o-war jellyfish and blue button jelly. These sea slugs do not digest completely when they eat the jellyfish. They break down the jellyfish and keep the stinging cells called the nematocysts. Their air bubble on the blue glaucous stomach allows it to find its floating prey and keep it on the surface.
The blue glaucus is a carnivore. They use the venom from their prey to use it against animals who touch it. They are not venomous by themselves. They have a camouflage called countershading, which helps them travel safely. The blue on their stomach allows predators from the sky unable to see it, and predators below it unable to.
The sea slug has a symbolic relationship with algae. The blue glaucus gets its food in defensive chemicals. The algae helps by getting chemicals and making a home for the bacteria and free meals from the algae's host.
You should expect to see the blue glaucus sea slug during round number 1 in the invertebrates of the sea. It will be very hard to eliminate the blue glaucus from the competition. Its camouflage will certainly give the sea slug an advantage for killing prey as well. Let's go, blue glaucus.
I'm Rachel Canfield, and this is Izzy Jagle. The Phragmic jellyfish, also known as the Faciliphora camtasia, can be found in the waters of the U.S. West Coast, Mediterranean Sea, Atlantic Ocean, and near Japan and Chile. You may also be able to find this jelly in places like South California and even the Gulf of Alaska. It lives in open oceans with mild temperatures.
The Phragmic jellyfish has a yolk yellow bell with a clear bell surrounding it, giving the appearance of a splattered egg you'd have for breakfast. The clear bell can be as big as 2 feet in diameter, and its tentacles can extend up to 20 feet in length. On their tentacles are numerous short appendages that are usually a deep purple.
Though you may have seen a video of the Phragmic jellyfish moving, it spends most of its time motionless. It is very slow-moving and uses short vertical strokes to move and fish. The Phragmic jelly is a predator to slow-moving small prey. This jelly is both sexual and asexual. The male medusa will release its sperm into the water, and with her mouth arms, the female will put the sperm onto her eggs.
The Phragmic jelly eats zooplankton, smaller jellies, copepods, fish larvae, and arrowworms. The Phragmic jelly also eats jellyfish that can be harmful to fishing industries. The jelly's tentacles are like springs. They extend when they need to catch prey using their sticky appendages.
The Phragmic jelly's predators include water birds, some fish, and sea turtles.
To avoid these predators, egg yolk jellies have a symbiotic relationship with the amphipod crabs. Their shell can serve as some protection for the jellies. They also have relationships with small fish that are immune to their sting. The fish attract the prey for the jellyfish and get to have part of the meal in return. Though this jelly sting hurts, it is not harmful to humans, for its sting is mild.
Expect to see the Friday jellyfish battle during round 1 of the Invertebrates of the Sea, division Phylum Mollusca, Nadiuria, and Phylum Tardigrada.
I'm Ryan Meyer, and this is Will Aaronworth. The box jellyfish can be found in coastal waters off northern Australia and throughout the Indo-Pacific. They can survive in both fresh and salt water. The box jellyfish is one of the most venomous creatures in the ocean. Their tentacles can be up to 10 feet in length and hold up to 5,000 stinging cells. We got this from LiveScience.com.
The life cycle of a box jellyfish is similar to other species of jellyfish. The adult jellies, called medusas, release eggs and sperm into the water. In some species, the male places a sperm packet inside the belly of the female, and the eggs develop instead of in the open water. The jellyfish can reproduce asexually through a process known as budding. A small clone grows from the pulp and separates once in the open water. It develops from the medusa form.
Box jellyfish capture their prey using their tentacles by immobilizing them with its venom. They completely swallow their prey and look for more after swallowing it. Fish and shrimp can easily tear down the box jellyfish, so it is why the box jellyfish have to kill its prey with its venom before swallowing it.
Box jellyfish get away from predators from their stinging tentacles and the venom that they produce. Predators of these species are few and far between. Despite that, they are still susceptible to predation, namely by green turtles. Box jellyfish's venom, simply put, cannot get through these turtles' dense skin. Because of that, they aren't harmful to them. Mature green turtles feed mostly on plants, but box jellyfish is a common meal for youngsters of the species.
Box jellies are highly advanced among jellyfish. They have developed the ability to move rather than just drift, jetting up at 4.6 miles per hour through the water. They also have eyes grouped in clusters of 6 on the 4 sides of their back.
Expect to see the box jellyfish battle during round 1 of the Invertebrates of the Sea division, Cinderia. Let's go box jellyfish!
I am Justin Kelly, and this is Liam All. The flower urchin, or Toxop mutinus pileolus, can be found in the Indo-West Pacific in certain places like Japan, Australia, the Red Sea, and the East African coast. They live on the seafloor where they are able to find a mating partner easier than if they floated around looking for one. The body of an adult flower urchin is equally divided into segments around the central axis and multiples of 5. They are relatively large sea urchins with a maximum length of 15 to 20 inches.
The behavior of the flower urchin is very calm and will sit on the sea floor, but when something takes it, it will deliver a very painful sting that will really hurt whatever organism was stupid enough to go near it.
The food that the flower urchin eats are multiple kinds of algae and bryozoans, as well as an organic detritus. The flower urchin reproduces sexually, but you can't tell the female flower urchins from the male flower urchins, so that will make it difficult when trying to reproduce. The flower urchin has evolved to having spines and very painful venom that will severely hurt a person or animal/predator.
The ecological role of the flower urchin is that they eat the algae on the seafloor, so it is more visible for their mates to find them. With this, they can reproduce and keep the flower urchin population alive.
The flower urchin is not a big threat to humans, but it will be very protective and release their toxic venom that feels like a very painful sting. Expect to see the flower urchin battle during round 1 of the Invertebrates of the Sea division, Crustacea and Echoderma.
I'm Jack Kelly, and this is Theo. The red king crab, or Paradoxus camscaticus, can be found in the Bering Sea, around the Kamchatka Peninsula, and the Rums Fjord in the Barents Sea, in water temperatures that range from 28.8 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit. This creature is commonly known as the red king crab. It is the second largest crab in the world, with a leg span of up to 6 feet.
King crabs are solitary creatures that don't move much unless it's mating season. During mating, males grasp the females and fertilize the eggs, which she carries on her abdominal flap for 11 to 12 months. Before they hatch, female red king crabs reproduce once a year and release between 50,000 and 500,000 eggs. Larvae hatch from the eggs looking like tiny shrimp. The larvae feed on phytoplankton and zooplankton for 2-3 months before turning into tiny crabs that settle on the bottom of the ocean. Males grow faster and larger than females.
King crabs eat worms, fish, clams, etc. They're also known to eat each other and other species of crab.
The red king crab will wade in the sand for prey, then crush it with its mouth parts, which can hold and crush prey. It is covered in a spinal exoskeleton. When a predator approaches it, it kicks up mud to escape.
Red king crabs are crucial to their environment because they eat dead fish at the bottom of the ocean and clean up. They also control the population by eating each other.
Expect to see the red king crab battle during round 1 of the Invertebrates of the Sea, division Crustacea. Keep in mind, it's one of the largest crabs in the world.
I'm Cecilia Clausen, and this is Emily Ryan. The crown of thorns starfish, or Acanthastor plantae, can be found in the Red Sea, coast of East Africa, across the Pacific and Indian Oceans, or to the west coast of Central America. They are typically found in lagoons or deep water. The crown of thorns starfish has between 8 and 21 arms. Adults can normally range from 250 to 350 millimeters in diameter. Individual coloration varies from red, orange, and purple, and the mouth is located on the underside of the central disc.
The crown of thorns starfish produces a neurotoxin which can be released through its spines. It can cause a serious pain that will last for hours and can cause nausea and vomiting. The starfish reproduces sexually. It reproduces through broadcast spawning, which is when several females release eggs and several males release sperm into the water column above the reef, all at the same time. Populations fluctuate between outbreaks of very high densities and times with much fewer individuals.
This starfish is an opportunistic carnivore. It consumes select trichinian corals, encrusting sessile invertebrates, and dead animals. It feeds everything by its stomach through its mouth once it's prey and digesting the tissue.
The crown of thorns starfish is protected from many types of predators by its long, venomous spine, though many adults have mitigating arms, indicating predation does occur. Some of its predators are Charonia, Tridonus, Belicidae, and Tetraodontidae.
An average-sized adult starfish can kill up to 478 square centimeters of live coral per day. It can be seen to have been a role in diversing the habitat. It removes flats with coral in its path and opens up bare areas of coral rock for settlement.
Expect to see the crown of thorns starfish during round one of the Invertebrates of the Sea divisions of Phyllium Crustacea, Phyllium Echodermata, and Phyllium Tardigrada. Let the best invertebrate win.
Hi, I'm Dan Knight, and this is Gunnar Githmark. Our invertebrate is the ghost crab. The ghost crab is most commonly found in sandy shores in tropical and subtropical regions of the world. The ghost crab is also known to be found in the Atlantic shore of the United States. The ghost crab has a square-shaped, semi-translucent shell that can measure up to 3 inches. Males are generally larger than females. These crabs are able to change their coloring to match their surroundings, making them less vulnerable to predators. These crabs have 4 pairs of walking legs and 1 pair of white claws, and their large club-shaped eyes can rotate 360 degrees. While mating, males release a fluid with their sperm that will harden and prevent rival sperm from reaching the female's oval. Females carry developing eggs under their bodies before releasing them into the water, where larvae will develop. The average lifespan of the ghost crab is 3 years. This is also the time when they dig and repair their burrows. It is rare to see their crabs during daytime as they're mainly active during the night. Ghost crabs are omnivores, feeding on insects, filter feeders like clams and mole crabs, and the eggs and hatchlings of long-head turtles. These crabs use thin hairs to soak up water from wet sand, which they can use to coat their gills. This means they do not have to travel down to the ocean to get water, but can still stay within the safety of their burrows from predators. Common predators include raccoons, shorebirds, and seagulls. Ghost crabs fend off predators by darting into their burrows and flattening their bodies just under the surface of the sand. Crabs spend little time in areas where drifted material accumulated. Dead material accounted for less than 0 of the food in the field. Expect to see the ghost crabs battle during round 1 of the Invertebrates of the Sea division Crustacea and Echinoderms.
I'm Alice Snyder, and this is Sadie Carrico. The yellow-line arrow crab, or Ceterinchus senicornis, can be found most commonly along the coral reefs of the Caribbean in the Atlantic Ocean. In North America, this area includes coral reefs that run along Florida and Texas. The yellow-line arrow crab is 3 to 6 centimeters in length, and they have pointy head.
Arrow crabs, especially males, are terrestrial and very aggressive towards each other. In addition, their aggression is latest until they grow into their adult size. At this point, they may become aggressive and can attack small prey, such as invertebrates and even small fish. After mating, the female carries the eggs under her abdomen until they hatch and molt into something called a megalops.
They usually eat algae, detritus, and sometimes tube worms. The arrow crab crawls quickly with the help of its long legs, using that advantage to attack small, slower-moving fish in the ocean. It's known to feed on bristleworms as well as feather dusters.
The arrowhead crab's only predators are bigger fish in the reef like pufferfish. It is nocturnal and will hide in the rocks until it is nighttime. If attacked, the fish may have a hard time not getting impaled by the sharp arrow point on the top of its head.
In the ecosystem, the yellow-line arrow crab eats small particles that are found in aquariums.
Expect to see the yellow-line arrowhead crab battle during round 1 of the Invertebrates of the Sea.
Hi everyone, I'm Nick, and today I'll be talking about Lumus polyphemus, probably better known as the horseshoe crab. They live in the They live where coast, and depending on how old they are, they can live from shallow waters to deep waters. The horseshoe crabs have a rectangular structure that's split into 3 parts, 10 eyes and 10 legs. And most of those eyes are photoelectric receptors, and it also has a tail and the back called a talson. Now, horseshoe crabs grow through many stages. It starts as an egg, then a larva, and they go through 16 to 17 molts before they become adults. Once they're fully grown, they just try to find food and mate. Now, horseshoe crabs mate when a male horseshoe crab grabs onto a female and fertilizes the eggs, and the female horseshoe crab lays tens to of thousands of eggs. Horseshoe crabs normally eat worms, algae, and clams, and pick up their food with the appendage in their mouth, and since they don't have teeth or mandibles, they crush it between their legs before they eat it. Horseshoe crabs, in their entirety, are preyed on when young by birds and fish, and as adults by sharks, humans, and sea turtles. And to avoid predators, they have a ridge on their back, which has movable spikes. Horseshoe crabs, in their environment, are both used as a predator and as a food source, so they're there to cycle nutrients. Now expect to see the horseshoe crab during round 1 of Invertebrates of the Sea, Division Crustacea and Ectomata. Now, I just want to say, get ready to rumble!
Hi, I'm Lily Stady.
And I'm Jocelyn Bedford.
It's already Invertebrate Insanity 2020. Our competitor is the orchid mantis. It is in the division of the subphylum Hexapoda and Myriapoda, and it is also known as the Hymenopus coronatus. Here are the best reasons why you should pick it for the ultimate champion. Its geographic regions include Malaysia, Myanmar, Thailand, Indonesia, and Uganda. Orchid mantises rarely linger around flowers when they start. However, they do a fancy moving up and down the twigs of the plants. They likely hang on the flower using their back legs. They can attack their prey by acting like an orchid flower, and they eat their prey by biting.
The orchid mantis are masters of camouflage. They mimic flowers not only to seek protection from potential predators, they also do it to capture bigger prey. The male mantis can be super skittish and hyperactive. The orchid mantises use mating rituals. After mating, the females lay a cluster of eggs in a protein-rich foamy pouch called ootheca. In about 6 weeks, up to 100 baby mantises, called nymphs, which will hatch and become ready to be a beautiful imitation of flowers.
The mantises usually eat flying insects in nature, such as moths, butterflies, and some jungle fruits. They also capture their prey by biting them, when camouflaged.
It has to adapt to its surroundings, including the following: changing colors to different flowers, act like the flower, be the flower. It does this to blend in, so when an insect flies, it can jump up and easily catch it without the animal knowing.
They are very important and beneficial for our crops and farmers because they feed on pests, hence controlling the growth of their population. In conclusion, the orchid mantis has many cool features and/or life skills. It will conquer all of its competitors, making it the champion.
I'm Medina Dulce.
And I'm Claire Lazat.
The wetland sphinx hawkmoth, or Howell's aniata, can be found in desert, suburbs, and gardens in central North America through Mexico, West Indies, Eurasia, and Africa. The wetland sphinx hawkmoth can be 2.5 to 3.5 inches long. They have prominent brown head, thorax, abdomen, and 6 white stripes. They have dark spots on each segment. The forewings are also brown with a buff-colored band from base to tip. Their veins are also outlined in white.
The wetland sphinx hawkmoth migrates underground. Females lay up to 1,000 eggs on the underside of food plants.
The wetland sphinx hawkmoth hovers over flowers to take nectar from flowers such as honeysuckle, nicotianas, jasmine, pale petunias, and moonflowers. Adults eat a variety of flowers, including columbines, larkspurs, petunia, honeysuckle, moonvine, lilac, clovers, thistles, and jimsonweed.
When they are alarmed, they rope their heads in a sphinx-like posture and spit out a thick green substance from their mouth. The wetland sphinx hawkmoth is part of a family called Sphingidae. They are known to feed on different host plants as caterpillars and pollinate many flowers as a Expect to see the wetland sphinx hawkmoth battle during round 1 of the Invertebrate of the Land Division, Hexapoda and Myriapoda.
Hi, my name is Darian. My invertebrate is a saddleback caterpillar. Scientists call it the Archaea stimuli, or as I like to call it, the kamikaze green bean. The saddleback caterpillar is like any other caterpillar. They eat, get fat, and cocoon themselves and become a moth. But the saddleback caterpillar has a defense mechanism that has spikes on them that are poisonous. The saddleback caterpillar reproduces sexually and lays clusters of 30 to 50 eggs. The saddleback caterpillar eats corn, apple, cherry, rose, and other types of trees. They are born on trees and leaves, so it's easy to get this food. Birds are their biggest predator. Here are some other facts. They can create glue-like substances that can anchor them down to the leaves. Also, they shed their skin and then they eat it for food. They live in warmer climates like North Africa or Mexico. You can find them on leaves and trees. The species belongs to the family of slug caterpillars, and also they are 1 inch long. They are not an invasive species. You can expect to find the saddleback caterpillar in round one of the invertebrates of the land. You will be in the subphylum Hexapoda and Myriapoda division, and I'm 99.999% sure that I will win. Thanks for watching.
I'm Cam Morris with my partner Brian Shaw. The TT fly, scientifically known as a glassnut, can be found only in the tropical and subtropical regions of sub-Saharan Africa, approximately 15 degrees north to 26 degrees south, on local patches of dense vegetation along the banks of rivers. The TT fly can reach up to 0.6 inches and contain three parts, which are the head, throat, and abdomen. These flies are yellow and brown with dark spots on its throat. TT flies have a large head, widespread eyes, three pairs of legs, a pair of wings, and a pair of antennae on their head covered in long branches. TT flies pass most of their time at rest in shaded places, preferably lower woody parts of vegetation, and search for food only for very short periods during the day. The flies often rest near food sources, which are ideally humans or animals. In terms of reproduction and development, the female TT fly does not lay eggs but produces one larva at a time, which develop in the uterus over a period of 10 days, and is then fully grown on moist soil and sand in shaded places, usually under bushes, fallen logs, or large stones. It buries itself immediately and turns into a pupa and emerges 22 to 60 days later, depending on the temperature. Females mate only once in their life, and with a wide span of availability of food and breeding habitats, they can produce a larva every 10 days.
Male TT flies usually suck on human blood, while females prefer animal blood such as elephants, cows, horses, and other large animals. TT flies are known to be predators, causing sickness and disease, but that's not true. Ants and beetles love to snack on the TT fly's flesh. When an ant and or beetle comes hand to hand with the TT fly, they start to fight. The TT fly's main defense is his wings. The TT fly attempts to fight and fly away. For the most part, the TT fly's escape is successful. The TT flies are most likely herbivores. These little guys may look small, but they contain one of the most deadliest diseases in Africa. This disease is called the African trypanosomiasis, also known as the African sleeping sickness. Expect to see the TT flies battle during round one of the invertebrates of the land subphylum Hexapoda and Myriapoda division. We expect to see you in the championship as we fly past our opponents.
Hello there, my name is Lucas.
And my name is Maribel.
And our invertebrate is Idolomantis diabolica, devil's flower mantis for short.
And these species can be commonly found in Southwest Africa and also found in certain countries like Mali to Kenya and Somalia.
You can easily find this creature due to its natural light colors, but they aren't always easy to spot, especially if they're hiding in their natural habitat, flowers. Their appearance looks exactly like a flower, too.
The devil's flower mantis only eats flies. It can eat other insects, but these are harmful to the mantis and should be avoided.
Natural behavior is very skittish and easily stressed. Due to the creature being stressed so easily, they've adapted to certain behavior towards it, like a stress reaction of either running away or bumping into anything that is in its view. Due to its natural stress, it only lives for one disappointing year.
The devil's mantis flower can live in the common range of 85. Also, its role in their ecosystem is being a consumer and a decomposer, which means they can get nutrients from dead birds. Sometimes, if given a chance, they can also consume flies as a daily part of their diet.
Their way of survival is also very unique. They do an unusual dynamic scare just to momentarily distract the predator. Normally, due to their brightly colored wings, are easy enough to distract and to lure the predator to certain death. They normally hunt their prey like a little assassin by waiting until their prey is in reach, and then they pounce, holding their prey into the death grip with their sharp, spiny forelegs digging into them.
These species reproduce sexually by the female will lay out from 6 to 7 foamy eggs called ootheca. The first batch of egg will be laid in a span of a few days after mating, and the rest will come one by one in just 2 or 3 weeks.
The pros and cons of this unique creature are the benefits of the mantis is that it eats flies in its daily diet, which brings down the fly population easily to an equal balance.
Handling the devil's flower mantis is very hard since the creature is very delicate and easily stressed out. Other species of the mantis emphasizes with the strikingly similar reactions. Due to the creature being so stressed, it shortens its lifespan to 1 year.
Thank you for watching. I am Fahmi Greavy, and this is John Tanasi. The Miami tiger beetle, or Cicindellia floridana, can be found in small sandy pockets of rockland in Miami-Dade County, southern Florida. The Miami tiger beetle is a small oval-shaped ground beetle. It has bulging eyes and metallic green back.
The Miami tiger beetle is known for their aggressive behavior, being great hunters. The Miami tiger beetle reproduces sexually. The mother lays eggs in a burrow in a damp spot. The larvae can hunt right after hatching, so they dig out and go find their prey. The adult's active breeding season is May through October.
The Miami tiger beetle eats ants, and with its amazing speed, it captures the ants with ease.
Their only predators are humans. They have no adaptations to avoid humans because they are not natural predators.
The ecosystem role is not very large due to their low population and small area in which they inhabit, but they do control the ant population. They help preserve the habitat because they are endangered and they are trying to save them.
Expect to see the Miami tiger beetle battle during round 1 of the Invertebrates of the Land Division Hexapoda. With amazing speed, it will outrun its opponents. The finish line, maybe.
Hello, I am Cameron McGravy.
And this is Wade Yang.
The bombardier beetle, or genus Brachynes, can be found in any continent in the world besides Antarctica. Usually, the bombardier beetle is found in woodlands and grasslands and dark, moist areas. The bombardier beetle isn't that big. It can reach up to 12 milliliters to half an inch long. Their shells are a bluish-green/gray color, while their bodies are a hot orange color. It has a total of 6 legs, 3 on each side, and the body and the head shape is similar to ants. The bombardier beetle has a hot chemical spray it uses when it is threatened. It is known to kill insects, drive small animals away, and even hurt humans. Most of the beetles are carnivores and hunt at night, and will often crowd with a group of others of its species while not looking for food. The hot chemical it shoots out of its abdomen is a defense mechanism. The beetle reproduces sexually.
The bombardier beetles are carnivores. Their main food source are small insects and plants. They use their sharp teeth or their hot chemical sprays to hunt its prey. They also prefer to hunt at night. The bombardier beetles has many defense mechanisms, but the most famous is their hot chemical sprays that can reach up to 100 degrees Celsius, 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Instead of using the sprays, they can make their lower halves explode, and they won't die because they will grow back. The beetles also have very flint teeth. Their teeth is so sharp and strong, it is enough to crush rocks. And if all these defenses fail, they can fly, but it'll take a while for their wings to be released from their wing covers.
Some bombardier beetles are omnivores, therefore they are secondary consumers. The beetle helps the environment/ecosystem by eating small and harmful insects like mosquitoes. The beetles usually hang around with its group but will get along with any other insects if they are leaving them alone. The beetles tend to live and reproduce in small groups. They usually try to stay away from potential predators. And the bombardier beetle's most famous adaptation is shooting a hot chemical spray out of its behind. It also has a colorful shell/skin to warn predators to stay away.
I guess it's one hot beetle. The bombardier beetle is a perfect example of what evolution could do. With their explosive personalities and their hot and spicy sprays, they are truly a force to be reckoned with. Wish us luck. Bye.
Hi, I'm Jason Brum, and are you tired of losing invertebrate insanity? Are you tired of people getting mad at you for the smallest things? Well, I have the perfect solution for you. Introducing the very not new Southern Black Widow. The spider is in the Arachidna division, and its scientific name is Latrodectus machans. It lives in southern United States, and its habitat are dry, dark areas like barns, outhouses, hen houses, sheds, brick veneers, barrels, wood piles. Its physical description is usually black and has a red hourglass shape on its back. Young are usually orange, and it has about 1.5 to 1 3 inches long. It has a round shape with 8 legs and no antenna. The spider reproduces sexually through external fertilization, which means it lays an egg. When spiders emerge, only about 30 spiders survive the first molting due to cannibalism, lack of food, and lack of proper shelter. The spider eats small insects that get caught into its web. The spider uses a very potent venom that excretes from its fangs that can irritate humans and severely harm its prey. The spider eats small insects such as woodlice, diplopods, and chilopods. Younger black widows eat other arachnids. The spider is carnivorous, and eggs can be hijacked by selenid wasps and chloropidae flies. Adult spiders are the prey of blue mud dauber wasps and spider wasps. Mantis and centipedes are also known to snack on black widows. The brown widow competes for territory with the black widow in Southern California. The spider protects its eggs closely to avoid hijacking or puts it in the web so enemies will get stuck and the spider gets the snack. The spider uses its venom to attack predators and to defend itself. The spider is mostly docile until it feels provoked. It is adapted to blend into dark areas. They are mostly cathameral, and they also have hard exoskeletons. The spider's in the middle of the food chain. The venom contains latrotoxins, polypeptides, adenosine, guanosine, inosine, and trihydropurine. That's why you should vote for the Southern Black Widow to win Invertebrate Insanity 2020.
Hi, I'm Kylie Hammond, and this is Sierra Stutson. The Arachnogena aggressive, or the hoop of spider, is primarily found in Montana and Colorado, but found in the northwestern states. It's introduced in the 1980s, and it's native to Europe. The hoop of spider typically has light brown legs and a zigzag pattern on its side. The males are typically 7 to 13 millimeters long, and females are 9 to 16 millimeters long.
The hobo spiders are sexually reproducing arachnids. The females lay small eggs and place them into 1 of 4 egg cases. Each egg has as many as 300 baby spiders. The male hobo spiders are needed to mate but die shortly after. The hobo spiders aren't aggressive animals, but they will bite once feel threatened. The females make flat webs with a narrow funnel shape at one end. The females then spend most of their life on the web, but the male and immature spiders tend to walk around in search of mates or better living spaces.
The hobo spiders are carnivorous species. They eat many different insects, but mostly spiders, making them cannibals. The female catches the prey once it comes in contact with the web. The impact sends a vibration to the spider that attacks its prey and consumes it in the narrow funnel shape at the end of the web.
The hobo spider has many predators, such as ants and birds, but they are also a predator to other spiders and some insects. To attack their prey, they bite it, but slowly kills the animal. Then their web will encase the prey in overlapping strands of silk. Due to the spider having many predators, it has to fight back by biting, but if there is a way to escape, they will take it.
The hobo spiders help in the ecosystem because they're a bigger food source to animals and help bring down the population of tiny prey that lands in the webs.
Expect to see the hobo spider in the first round of Invertebrates of the Land in the class Arachnia division.
I am Jake Fassett, and this is Elliot Madrigal. The deathstalker scorpion, or Lyrus conquestriatus, can be found in northeastern Africa and the Middle East, in arid, semi-arid, and mesic regions. Deathstalkers have a lime green body with 8 legs. They can grow from 3.5 to 4.5 inches. Their lifespan is 2 to 6 years.
The deathstalker scorpion can be aggressive, and its venom is one of the most toxic of any scorpion. The deathstalker scorpion reproduces sexually. There are 2 main patterns that the scorpion can develop. These patterns are the hypoechogenic and the ketogenic.
Their pincers look very big and strong, but they are actually very weak. So instead of using their pincers, they use their venom to kill their prey. These scorpions are strict predatory carnivores. They eat animals such as crickets, spiders, centipedes, and earthworms.
When deathstalkers are being hunted by predators, the predators use their speed to hunt the deathstalkers. When bats hunt deathstalkers, they use brute force to resist their venom. While eating the deathstalkers, they eat the entire scorpion, including their venom sac.
Deathstalkers can actually harm humans with their venom, mostly children and older adults. It has an exoskeleton that acts like an armor against other animals that may want to eat it. Deathstalkers are usually found under rocks, hiding from the direct sunlight.
Expect to see the deathstalker scorpion battle during round 1 of Invertebrates of the Land division Arachnida.
I'm Cameron and this is Connor. The American dogticker Domostenos vulnerabilis can be found mostly east of the Rocky Mountains in the U.S. And there's also cases of the tick in California, Mexico, Canada, Pacific Northwest, and west of the Cascade, and also the Sierra Nevada mountains. They're still found mostly in the east coast of the U.S., and their habitat is those areas are forests, densely wooded areas, and grassland. They're also found on sides of roads, near trails, and grassy highway rest stops. These ticks are larger than most, on top of their brown reddish body, and they have light-colored, geometric shapes. Ticks looking for a new host often climb a blade of grass and cling onto it, holding it with their third pair of legs. The American dog ticks hatch from a 6-legged larva and then become an 8-legged nymphs, before finally reaching adulthood. The American dog tick reproduces sexually, but after a while the male leaves them.
Species parasitizes almost all mammals and feeds exclusively on blood, making it an obligate sanguivore. Feeding occurs to 3 to 11 days at a time, and these invertebrates can live for long periods of time without feeding. At all stages of development, adult ticks can hold more and consume more blood, and prefer larger hosts. Dog tick will feed on humans and medium-large mammals such as raccoons and dogs. It is not easy to harm them and have few predators. They can transmit diseases such as the Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Also, the small size of the tick makes it very hard for the predators to get them.
The American dog tick is obligated in all stages of life. Larvae and nymphs target small mammals, while adults target larger ones. Different abundance patterns are observed for engorged and non-engorged ticks. One example is of engorged ticks. Abundance is probably a function of host age, with younger hosts are more easily supporting engorged ticks. Non-engorged ticks abundance depends more on non-living factors such as season and site collection, so wooded and grassy areas in the spring will have a high abundance of non-engorged ticks. American dog ticks are also carriers of pythogen, which is the cause of the Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Expect to see the American dog tick during round 1 of the Invertebrates of the Land in the Arachnido division. This information from Animal Diversity Web /Derma Center for Larvis and blogtheweek.com.
I am Haley Todd, and this is Kayla McHugh. The redback spider can be found in Australia, also in Europe. The redback spider is a venomous creature. It will bite when it has been disturbed.
This deadly spider can be very harmful when its venom has been injected into a human from a bite. Not many of the bites are harmful enough needed to go to the hospital. They lay 3.8 egg sacs between September through May, which is 300 eggs in all.
Almost any small insects that are caught in their webs. They also eat skinks and juvenile mice, snakes, and frogs. Redbacks will also eat their siblings.
The redback spider is not on top of the food chain, and its predators include other spiders such as the daddy longlegs spider and blackhouse spiders.
If you ever get bitten, you may experience some swelling, sweating, headaches, nausea, chest pain, and your blood pressure might rise.
Expect to see redback spider battle during round 1 of the Invertebrates of the Land, division, class of Arachnida, and phylum Tardigrada.
Hi, I'm Addison Servant, and this is Aurora Howe. The peacock jumping spider, or Martis volans, can be found in the southern half of the Australian continent in a variety of habitats, ranging from semi-arid temperate coastal areas. The peacock jumping spider is 4 millimeters in size and has colors that vary from red, orange, white, cream, and blue. The only record of the peacock spider interacting with other spiders is for mating, but other than that, the behavior of the peacock spider is solitary or by itself. The male peacock spider has bright colors and a mating dance to attract the females. After mating, the female spider will only lay 6 eggs.
Peacock spiders are daily hunters and feed on small insects such as crickets and other spiders. Female peacock spiders also eat the males during courtship if she is unimpressed by his visual displays. Since peacock spiders don't build webs to capture their prey, they stalk their prey and jump on them.
Spiders are prey to spiders and other carnivorous insects that are bigger in size. Due to their small structure, peacock spiders have adapted the ability to jump up to 40 times their body length to avoid predation. They are venomous, so when they jump on their prey, they can inject their venom. The peacock spider can jump up on prey 3 to 4 times its size.
The ecosystem roles that peacock spiders provide are similar to the roles that all spiders provide, in which they help regulate insect populations through consumption. Their eyes are equipped with telephoto lenses, and tired retinas contain UV-sensitive photoreceptors, which they use to preserve moisture. Expect to see the peacock jumping spider battle during the first round of the Invertebrates at the Land Division Arachna.